Yo, what is up? What up, guys? I know I haven't released podcast in a couple of weeks, so I know that everybody's been probably waiting on when is Sarah gonna release the next episode, so I apologize. Life is lifing, and I know I want to get back on the content game, so I have a really great episode for you guys today. Um, this episode just came to me from a simple idea that I had. And I felt like this had to be said. And this episode's literally going to be about how to find validation, especially like when you have people that are really trying to get at you, trying to harm you, try to tell you that you're not good enough, and honestly just be very negative individuals in your life. And how I did it and why I think that this is really important. So this is going to be all about validation today. So let's start off with the actual question. Why do we seek the validation of others? We seek the validation of others because ourselves cannot see past what we can see. What do I mean by that is that I only know for myself that there's things that other people see within me that I do not see in myself. Okay. A lot of people have told me that I'm incredibly articulate. I can voice my opinion well. I know what I'm talking about. I know this, I know that. And that simply comes from the fact that there is a truth within all of us that we can all agree on as human beings. But what society has done wrong is misconstrue the truth so hard that no one really knows what the truth is, and that completely affects your identity as well. So when there is no actual baseline truth that triggers your identity, you think like, well, who am I? So the government's been, it's not just the government, I think it's the government, the corporate structure that we have, our childhoods that could affect that basically, try to dictate to us that we're not entitled to have an opinion, which the opinion would somewhat correlate to the actual baseline truth that we all know to exist. So when I talk about that, I'm talking about like, okay, listen, if we don't know what our opinion is, then we don't know the truth, and then we don't know what the validation is. Okay, what our validation is, because simply our validation comes from some sort of truth within all of us. That's really why I think we seek it, is that the society has done such an incredible job at tearing everyone else down. People wish they could say something controversial when they know that they can't. And quite frankly, I think that we're at a point in society where get if we don't start speaking in the truth, we're just going to have a society that falls to succumbs to a system that is going to tell you what to actually believe in, and which is already happened, has begun, is continuing to get worse, and is at a point that we're all going to break, in my personal opinion. It's a scary time that we're all living in, is because we seek validation from people that really themselves, they don't even know who they are. And the title of this episode is Stop Seeking Validation from People. They're still trying to find theirs, because we're all broken in some way. We've all had previous experiences that are negative against all of us. We've always had people that are trying to tear us down, and realistically, why are we listening to people that are just as broken as ourselves? It makes no sense at all. And that's the problem is that we sit here and we beg anybody to give us the validation to fill the void that we have within us, to fill the person that was hurt. It's such a terrible thing that we've allowed people that look like ogres to tell us who we are. And listen, like, it's always some ugly ass person that does this, seriously, like, it's always some person that looks like they've never left their house that's always telling you how to be, how to do something, how to attract people. It's like, can I make my own decisions for once in my life? Or do I need you to constantly be up my ass and tell me how to think, what to do, and do all the things? Because I don't. Okay? I'm just simply at a point in my life where I'm just like, please leave me alone. Please leave me alone because I cannot tolerate another second of someone trying to blow fake and bias in my face. I cannot stand it another second anymore. And it's not just work and society, it's in everything we do. It's in politics, it's in government, it's in everything that we have in human society. Regardless of socioeconomic status, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of religion, it's everywhere. It's everyone that is making the world as we know it, that is perpetuating fakeness and lies. So these people are going to be immoral and they're trying to tell you who you are. Why are you listening? And it stems from, I think, a lot of the times that we look at, getting validation from a morality standpoint. Like, we have a lot of people at the top that, how do I put this gently? We have a lot of people at the top that are far from moral examples of what we should follow, telling us what to do and who to be and how to be. Far from perfect examples. But they'll tell you because of the fact that they think they're better than you. Just because they have a fatter bank account than you does not mean the fact that they're better than you morally. See, here's the thing. You could have $1 billion in your bank account, but let me tell you something. Trash equals trash, my guy. Like, there's no in between. There's no ambiguity there, okay? Trash equals trash, my dude. You honestly think a billionaire is more moral than you are. They're not. This is going to get real interesting. They probably slept their way to the top. They probably bought their way to the top. They probably did some sort of ritual to get to the top. Whatever the case they may have done. But they don't get to that level without doing something messed up. So don't let them actually dictate to you who you are. Because they have no authority over you. We allow people that we think have more money than us, more status than us, more connection with us, to tell us that we're not in authority when we already are. Who better than the person that's young and ambitious and hungry as fuck to make it than to tell everybody who you are? Because let me tell you something. There are people that I know that are in extremely high places that It took longer for them because they would not sell out, but they still got there with their integrity and morality intact. People that have their integrity and morals in their pocket will take longer because everyone else that sold out is jealous the fact that you did not sell out. It's called covert jealousy. It is a real thing. And honestly, we have a problem with people trying to feel like that they have to compete too. Like, ugh, like we need to stop this thing about competing. It's like it's so toxic too. It's like we consistently feel like we have to like one up each other. There's no one-upping here when everyone else is sitting at the top with you, my god. Like, dude, if we all just start living like, "Yo, how can I help you today? How can I serve you today? How can I be a better person for you today?" Trust me, the world would be a better place. Except we are meant to believe that we have to fucking one-up one another, which is ridiculously stupid. Whoever made this stupid ass idea. It's freaking dumb. There is no competition when you are sitting at the top with your morality intact. That I can promise you. You won already. You won because your integrity cannot be bought. Your opinion cannot be bought. Your morals cannot be bought. You won. You are the authority, not them. And if you're listening to this or watching this at home, I really, really, really want you to get it through your skull that you are born for something great. That you don't need to beg for the authority or the opinion or the validation from somebody else because you're already born with it. God said you're called and you're chosen, not the fact that you have to beg for someone else that looks like a frog to give you your authority. What the actual F is this? Bro, you want. We seek validation because the fact that the broken parts within all of us are somewhat needing to get filled somehow. And a lot of us, and I can only speak from my experience, a lot of us try to seek it try to fill those holes within us with things like sex, drugs, alcohol, pornography, um, I draw like things that are really bad for all of us. And I'm here to tell you, life does not have to be like this. When you look within yourself and say, I may not be perfect, but I definitely know I'm a little bit smarter than these people, trust me, that's the time to open up your mouth. The world needs people that are brave enough to speak freely about how you found your validation. Because I'll tell you how I found mine. Number one, found it through God. Because he said you're called and chosen, not lonely and isolated, which is exactly what the devil wants. But two, for every win that I got in business, that just kept adding to like the levels, like it's like a pyramid in business. So it's like you start like at the bottom, obviously, and then you just keep like going up and up and up and up and up. And then you realize, like, oh, damn, like I'm sitting up with people that are charging $50,000 just to work with them. How did I get here in 2.5 years? It's because sometimes it's better to miss opportunities than find the right ones, because the right ones will appear at the right time. I've honestly have learned that seeking validation from others will consistently get you disappointed because them themselves have not found theirs. Humor me. How are you supposed to take validation from somebody that doesn't even know who the hell they are? They have problems we cannot fix, by the way. So they need to go solve their problems before they come back over here into our space and tell us who we are. And you need to be firm in that. You need to be very strong in your opinion and being like, yo, you're not going to come over here and disturb my energy. That's not going to happen. They need to keep it moving respectfully. Okay? Keep walking, buddy. Because at the end of the day, they want you confused. Because the longer they have you confused, the more they think that they have control over you. Let me tell you something. I would rather sit at a table alone and know that I'm completely validated than go sit with everybody else who's still trying to like work out their validation and they're like 50 years old. Okay? There's so many people that I talk to. I've talked to easily over 600 business owners in the last 2.5 years. And there are so many people that they're still trying to fill the holes within them that they don't know how to. It's sad. And we sit here telling ourselves that it's not our problem that people cannot figure this out. It is our problem, ladies and gentlemen, because we have to talk to people. We have to find community. We have to talk to people. We have to be able to converse with people, especially if you're running a face-to-face business, right? Regardless of it's, you have a physical brick and mortar location or you're doing it online through Zoom or Google Meets, okay, on a video call, or Microsoft Teams calls, whatever, right? So it's completely different. And having a strong opinion is going to take you very far. But once you find your opinion, there's going to be a lot of people that do come for you to try to take down their opinion as well. Oh man, I could talk about this all day. It's like I've had people within the last 2.5 years try to tell me you speak too aggressively, or you're too direct, or you're angry, or whatever. The power in my voice, I didn't just wake up with it. It's something that God gave me. So if you're attacking that, you're attacking God's masterpiece, which is disrespectful. See, what they'll always mock what they don't have or they're jealous of. They won't mock something that they're not jealous of. They'll mock my opinion because I don't waver and I can actually talk about it. That's how you have to be. Firm, consistent across the board, and don't waver. There's not an ounce of you that should waver in your opinion. Not one. Because the minute they see an inequity in you, dude, they're going to have a freaking field day with that. And of course, there's a time to be vulnerable and there's a time to be like, you know, super strong with what you believe in. I'm not afraid to say that I've cried by myself on a podcast because I definitely have. And I'm okay with that. We allow people that, how do I say this? We allow people that have no actual merit or any type of continuity in our lives to tell us what to do or what to be. It just it hurts for me to see this because I was that person that consistently chased validation in all the wrong places. And thank God I learned from it. Thank God I'm a different person. Thank God I grew from it. Because I would not be the person that is making a podcast completely sober and is enjoying life the way she is now and making incredible content without this. I would really hate my life if I did not find my own validation within me. And that is something that you should find within yourselves. How do we fill ourselves up and fill our cup with things that just make us feel alive? There's a couple of ways I did it. Like, this has nothing to do with God, but honestly, guys, if you're young and you're in your 20s, like, I would highly recommend you guys go date yourselves. Seriously, I'm being so dead ass. Go date yourselves. And what do I mean by that? Like, I'm not encouraging drinking like a sailor, but go have a really nice meal and go have a really beautiful glass of wine and go sit at a fancy restaurant and go buy yourself $100 meal because that experience changes the way not only you think about money and investing yourself with money, but it changes your pattern of thinking, how you think about yourselves, how to take yourselves seriously, how to put yourselves first, how you should be treated when you're in a romantic relationship. It changed the game. For me, I learned I'm like, if a guy cannot buy me not that kind of meal, but a meal in general on a first date, there's really no room for him to be in my life. If you're gonna gripe about a $20 plate of food, that's like ridiculous, dude. And I'm not an expensive date either. Doesn't even have to be 20 bucks. Like it's like tacos could be the first date too, which I've done. Or the bare minimum is like write some really good positive affirmations down about you. Listen to some really good podcasts on self-help and mindset. And follow, like, if you have Instagram or you follow, like, people on LinkedIn, like, dude, like, follow some really good mindset coaches on Instagram and LinkedIn, and that changes the game too, because that's a way that's free if you don't have enough money to like literally start investing in yourselves. Because in reality, in order for you to become successful, you need to have that mindset like like a solid brick. Your mindset is absolutely everything and it correlates to your validation because once you know the standard of how you should be treated because you treat yourself like that, change your perspective just like boop changes. And honestly, like for anybody who's in college and being like, I want to start a side hustle, but my parents are telling me that I'm crazy and this, and this, like, ask yourself this. There's going to come a day that your parents are not around anymore. It's the inevitable. I'm sorry. All of us, from the day that we are born, are destined to die at one point in our lives. Do you want to be the example that changes the world? Because I sure as fuck do. We tell each generation that comes along that we are going to be better humans, and we're not. It's getting worse. But it starts somewhere. And it starts not only just with me, but with you. You have legitimately everything at your fingertips to be the biggest person, the best person, the number one authority to be listened to, because there's more channels of distribution and content now than ever. And I'll tell you what, the software that I'm recording on is called Restream.io. $40 a month, dude. Tell me who can't start a podcast now. Because everybody can. They're leveling the playing field. This is like the greatest time to be a content creator, dude. Dead ass. And I was so worried about putting my own stuff out there in the world. I was like, what if somebody judges me? And then I'm like, hold up a minute. I was like, not only did I get tortured and criticized and judged by my own blood, but in school I got bullied too. So what is it about going global that scares me so much? I just the only thing is that you've got a couple billion people watching you now. That's the only difference. Instead of maybe just like a couple 20, 30 people judging you, now you got a couple billion eyeballs on you. That's the only difference realistically. If one of you wrote that one down. It's your shift in perspective that gives you your validation. That's really what it is. Don't let somebody tell you when you're qualified to put something out there. Because you already are an authority. And if there's anything you are struggling with, everything, and I mean literally everything, is figure outable. You'll figure it out. And it may not be today, and it may not be tomorrow, and it may not be even a year from now. But everything takes its own time and needs its own time to grow. You just have to plant seeds in order to be someone that when maybe 5 years from now, when you go look at everything that you've done and what you've accomplished and who you've helped, you're going to be a very proud individual when you say, I became everything I promised myself I would be. Because that's how I feel right now. And let me just tell you something, it is the greatest feeling of all time. And I didn't do this for anyone, I did it for me. You owe it to yourself to be the best version of you today, not tomorrow, today. Because tomorrow is not promised. Time is fleeing us, especially with the amount of crap going on globally. Wars and this and that. People trying to dictate what type of democracy that you're going to live under. There's no time like today to start being like, I am going to be the change that I want to see in the world. And that stems from when you feel like you found your validation. And you're already validated. You're already breathing, dude. That's validation enough. See, God does not make mistakes with human beings. He's incredibly not only just artistic, but deliberate, meticulous, and very intentional the way he makes us. Some people have more gifts than other people, and that's okay. We're all supposed to be different. That's okay. Could you imagine if we were all the same? Life would literally suck more than it already sometimes does. So, when God was creating each one of us, he said, okay, this person's going to get this quality. This person's going to get that quality. This person's going to get that quality. This person's going to get this quality. And one by one, everyone somehow gets born, right? We all be brought into our world by our parents. And then we go through a childhood, and then adolescence, and then to early stages of being an adult. And then we get into our careers, and then families of our own, and then retirement, and then end of life comes, hopefully, if we're blessed enough to live that long. But there are special attributes in each one of us that we all have, and there is no time like today to share those. Everyone is good at something. That could be artistic, that could be creativity, that could be getting on camera and talking, that could be writing content like the way I do, right? Not only can I write it, I can actually talk. Those two things, no one can steal from me. I could have a 2-hour long conversation with someone twice my age and I'd still understand what they were saying. Once you intentionally find that great attribute that you have, life changes. Because the greatest things that we all have can be somewhat monetized. Every fucking one of them. Whether that's talking, writing, designing, coding, right? Everybody's got some sort of creative attribute within all of us. We're all imaginative, we're all invention. We love to tell ourselves we need to think big, which we do. We 100% need to. We 100% need to think big. What are you going to do about it, though? Are you going to sit and ponder when it's going to be the right time, or are you going to say, nah, this has got to be out there today? And like I said beforehand, there's no time like the present just to get a software, record, and upload. It's a couple buttons that you need to press. That's it. That's it. And I want everyone to start thinking like this. Don't put content out or do something selfishly because you're trying to be recognized for something. Do it because you know it's going to help someone. That someone out there needs to see you as an example to follow. Be a leader, not a follower. There is enough people out in this world that are trying to be chiefs when in reality they are definitely Indians. Think about it. We have so many people that are in leadership positions that are completely underqualified to be leaders right now. And they're telling us how to find validation. It's like, bro, like you barely found yours. Don't tell me how to do something. Goes back to the original topic of discussion. When you figure that out, whatever that is, whatever that magic, talented gift is, it is the thing that's going to change your life forever. I chose content writing because I couldn't articulate my own feelings because I was so afraid to speak my mind because I was told you have too loud of a voice or a mouth. When in realistically, that's how the devil works. Is he will attack over and over and over and over again your greatest strengths. If you're being criticized for something over and over and over again, that's because that one thing that's being hammered in on all day long is the thing that makes you famous. That one is just like when I learned that, it hit me so hard. And there are subtle ways that the devil will do it too. Like there'll like I know for me, I used to drink like a sailor and I used to not only well when I was in college, I used to smoke cigarettes when I was in college, occasionally when I was drinking, but also at the same time, I used to smoke a vape and I smoked a vape for probably like maybe 8 years on and off. So that probably damaged my lungs permanently for the worse, obviously. But if you consistently have something in your mouth, you can't talk. And if you can talk well and articulate your thoughts well, and you're smoking, the devil's winning. I had the urge to stop vaping right around the beginning of 2026, and I stopped cold turkey. Never had, and beforehand I'd stopped, but I stopped a couple times. I went cold turkey, but this time it was just like no withdrawal whatsoever. No withdrawal. It was awesome. I had no withdrawal symptoms. I wasn't hungry. I wasn't like I wasn't irritated. At least I don't think I was. And I am like almost I think like 100. Oh, check my phone actually. I think like 140 days that I am clean from nicotine. Yeah, 114 days. 114 days. So the point of this is like when you find the things that are important to you and that make you who you are, find a way to either monetize that or find a way to share it, man. There's no time like today to put your stuff out there or put your thoughts out there and try to help somebody. I hope that the podcast goes to somebody in some village in Europe and some kid watches this and be like, I was already thinking about starting a business and I really need to hear somebody that, did it with 40 bucks in her pocket. Because I did. And somehow, some way, it winded working out. Obviously, there's other things in there, good, ability to communicate and think, network and do all the things, of course. I figured it out. But in the beginning, I was terrified. Because I wondered, what if it does not work? And that, another thing is a real issue that everybody wants you to have. You to believe that it's not going to work out because it's going to make them look bad if it does work out. Think about it. People that are not envious of you don't give a crap what you do. They're actually going to encourage you to do the thing that's risky, like start a podcast, like start a business, like start a side hustle. Okay. They're going to encourage you to do it because the fact that they're successful themselves. Why would they not want you to be successful? I'm telling you, I'm surrounded by successful people all day long. And I'm telling you that not one of them has told me, don't start a podcast. Not one. Everyone said, do it. Actually, when I started calling people that I made this podcast, everybody was clapping. Everyone clapped. They're like, about damn time, dude. You got a lot to say. Put it on the internet. So just do it. And the ones that are telling you not to are the ones that are already jealous of you. Those are little emotional triggers that you can look for within people and be like, oh, I need to get my distance from this person to grow. To listen to other people that are successful, that want you to be successful, that you need to listen to in order to get to where you want to be. Because they also will play a part in filling those holes and being like, I'm going to patch you up and this is how I did it. And 9 times out of 10, you play your cards right. They'll actually freaking mentor you privately as well. You play your cards right, they will mentor you without you even asking. Because wealthy people, successful people, love sharing and love helping. It is at the foundation of everything successful people do. I have honestly found that. I myself too am a mentor now, and I love helping mentees out. I love giving them a vote of confidence. I love having a good sit down with them and talking about whatever it is that they're struggling with and get them out of that funk so they can go crush it. People want you to do well. Successful people want you to do well because they already know how it sucks for someone to try to tear you down. Why would they try to be the exact same negative Nelly when they already had that in their life? And they're like, I'm never going to be like this. And as long as you can learn from it, you're winning anyway. Bro, that's the whole meaning to finding your validation. Get a good mentor. Don't listen to people that suck and do what you want because tomorrow's not promised. There is no time like today just to be amazing. Do the absolute best you can to be a light in a world where it is more accepted to be a bad person than it is to be a good person. Which is befuddling to me. That we allow bad people to get more clout and status and all these other things than other great people that have very pure hearts. And I know a couple of them. I'm lucky enough to meet those people in my life. But take heart in that I said this today. That those people that have sold their souls and that are bad human beings, 9 times out of 10 are probably not going to the place where you think they're going to go when they die. They're probably not going to get into heaven. They're probably going to go to hell. Being a good person is the long game, just like business. But it's one that's worth taking. every day. Putting your best self first is the biggest step to change you're going to make in this thing we call life. Learn what fills your cup. If it's taking yourself on a really beautiful dinner date by yourself, like, dude, do it. If it's like that 15 step, skincare routine, let's get it. Light a candle, put some fire music on, and do your skincare routine. And like in depth with like a couple of masks and like some extractions, or go get a facial, go get your nails done if you're a girl. Like, guys, go get your beard lined up if you're a guy. Go play golf with the boys if you're a guy listening to this. Do something for yourselves to put yourself first, because that adds to your validation that you know how to put yourself first. Because no one's going to do this for you. I can't do this for you. Your mom can't do this for you. Your dad can't do this for you. No one can, except when you start choosing yourself, is when you start putting yourself first. You need to learn that concept because the validation is within you. You already got everything you need to be the absolute best in whatever it is that you want to do. So stop seeking validation from people that are walking around this world that are like, oh, like this. No, they are not your problem. You are your problem. Be a little selfish this time around. And that is like a really, oh man, that's a really big lesson I had to teach myself, is like, I was such a person that I always gave. I was always available, always there, always present. They're like a friggin' therapist for people. And guess what? My energy and cup were so empty. It's just like, imagine a red Solo cup that there's a cup and the bottom has the actual the bottom plastic on it, except there's no bottom plastic in it. It's just a hole. And people would pour and everything would come out. And that was me for years. Until I said, this sucks and this is definitely gotta change. And then I discovered what works for me. Dating myself, throwing good mindset podcasts into myself, following good mindset pages on Instagram works, listening to mentors work, investing into different business podcasts work, different strategies and stuff like that. Um, Different wins, which wins are subjective, by the way. Wins are not always money. Wins are sometimes just you getting out of bed and taking a shower is a win when you're going through a really hard time. We need to stop being so freaking hard on ourselves, because every day is hard enough, man. Why are we adding more hard than good in the world? So, you don't need my permission to start a podcast. Grab the laptop, which is a MacBook M3 Air. Grab a laptop and just start recording. Put your thoughts out there. You're good enough. You might get, sure, that comes with it. But just because someone with no profile picture judges you does not mean you shouldn't do it. You should. For yourself, not for anyone else. For yourself. If you get anything from this today, is that all the talents within you gave you the authority to say, you can do this. And there are unfortunately so many people that are walking around this face of the planet that are wrestling with themselves to try to find their own validation because them themselves are broken and they need help. And just be who you are because who you are is good enough. And it took me so long to learn that. I questioned who I was every day, man, until I started my own podcast and I started writing what I wanted to write, the kind of content that was authentically who I am. And guess what? Everyone else seems to think that I'm right now. Love yourself enough to trust your own intuition. And it's a constant battle that you have to work on. An everyday choice. It's an everyday thing that you actively have to choose because someone else is going to fucking tell you how to choose it for yourself. Someone else out there is literally waiting for the freaking moment, unfortunately, to tell you who you are because they themselves don't know who they are. So, because they don't know who they are, they want to confuse you. And their childhoods or their boss or whatever the case may be, that's going on with them. They're jealous. Whatever, man. Whatever it is with them, like you gotta learn how to like block out the noise with these people. That's my best advice. Block out the noise, block out the haters, tunnel vision, focus on what you're doing, water the thing that you're doing, and definitely take time to water you. This right here, and just flip it around the camera. I imagine if I'm not sitting here, flip it around. You take watering, by the way. You need to learn whatever it is that fills your cup, whether that's going to sit in a church for a holy hour, whether that's going to drive yourself to a beautiful restaurant and go have an amazing meal, whether that's taking yourself to the movies or doing a 15-step skincare routine, whatever that looks like for you, that's watering you. That's fueling you. That way you can show up as your best self. And there's no book that I read about this. This is just pure experience. Things that I've had to learn for me that I am glad that I get to teach you. That's worked for me. And it looks different for everybody. What the way that worked for me may not work for you. And that's okay. Trust yourself enough to know that you can take bits and pieces from everybody and then make your own way. And you have that authority. Because the world is going to tell you there's only one way to do it. When there's 15,000 ways to do something. Because we are all different. And that's the real message. We are all different. We all have different things that fill our cup. And we need to understand that just because it works for us doesn't mean it's going to work for somebody else. And we need to trust ourselves enough to know that if it doesn't work for us, then we have the authority and the power to change something because we don't need anybody's approval and or validation to do it. So I hope this helped. I hope this is going to fill your cup and just know that you're a beautiful soul and you deserve everything good in life and don't let some ogre tell you that you don't deserve the best in life that life has to give.